Well, that sucked. That sucked. Welcome to the show. Episode 692 of the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Welcome to BD4. I'm not going to waste time. Not going to really yap. Just, it was a bad series for the Yankees. First series against Boston. It's in Fenway Park. Just disgusting. Like, it wasn't good baseball. I didn't enjoy a single second of this weekend's play. Just disgusting. You know, you play a team that has such a garbage, underwhelming minor league roster that's not going to go anywhere for the next 5 years. And to play the way you did against that, ugh. So it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Kind of killed any of the good vibes that I had going into this series. Gonna try to remain positive in this episode. But yeah, it was kind of ugly. It just reminded me of 2023. All bad. Nothing good came from this series. Don't really have much positive takeaways. So if you're one of those super optimistic fans who can't take a little criticism, probably tune out. Probably don't listen to episode 692 here of the podcast. Probably don't do that. I'm letting you know right now. Because I'm not in the greatest mood tonight. And I'm recording this one of the rare times where I'm recording an episode directly after the game. So it is Sunday night as I record. It's Sunday, June 16th. It's technically now past midnight. It's 12:04 p.m. or a.m. So it's technically Monday the 17th. And as you're listening to this, it will be Monday the 17th. Later in the afternoon, late morning. I said I'd stop yapping. We're 2.5 minutes in. Let's get to our intro and we'll talk about this series. Jesus. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Let's get to it.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Shaking and baking right here on the neophyte.
You guys trying to close the show. She was doing a great job of feeding that. It's over.
Certainly didn't win this weekend. Hey, they took the first game. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was not pretty. It was ugly. The Yankees humiliated themselves this weekend in Beantown, Bumtown, Fenway Park, wherever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. I hate that city with a burning passion. I hate the human beings that live inside that city. I hate their fans. I hate their baseball team, their basketball teams, their football teams. I hate everything about New England, Boston, Massachusetts so much. That's never going to go away as a diehard New York sports fan. So I wanted the Yankees to go in there and to dominate, and honestly, they should have dominated. Again, given the roster they just went up against, I mean, some of the names that they were throwing out there, they should have swept this team and then some. But somehow, this Yankees team went into Fenway Park, that Tinker Toy Stadium, and they dropped 2 out of 3. And they did it in a very disgusting fashion. Those numbers on the screen are incorrect, by the way. Here we go. They did it in a very ugly fashion. So I'm kind of, I'm not in the greatest mood. It just left a very bad taste in my mouth. And so we're going to talk about this series in just a sec. A couple of injury stuff. Everson Pereira has a UCL injury, so he will get Tommy John. He's been playing in AAA. He's done for the season. Remember, this was a kid who the Yankees were, I think it was the first prospect that they called up last year, and it kind of gave Yankees fans a little bit of life at the time because we were starving for something besides Jake Bowers and Willie Calhoun and Billy McKinney and Connor Falefa. So where they called up Everson Pereira, and Yankees fans got excited. This was before the Dominguez one. And he was terrible. At the time, he was hitting the ball super hard in AAA. He was having a really good season, batting well over 300. The OPS was high. Came up to the bigs, didn't do anything. And now, with the moves the Yankees made this past offseason, Everson Pereira was sent back down to AAA. And I don't think he was having the greatest year. So it was his, they probably should have traded him last year when they had the shot to. But now he's done. You could still trade him, but his value is incredibly low. And so there's that. And on top of that news, you get news today that Jason Dominguez, the Martian, who many of us were hoping was going to get a call up soon, that ain't going to happen right now. Because Jason Dominguez is now headed to the 7-day DL. He's got an injury that he's dealing with. I don't know if they officially said what it was yet. Let me look that up to see if I can find it. Because it hasn't been posted anywhere I follow. It just says he's going on to the DL. On a checked swing, he left the game. Yeah, it's just, okay, it's a left side injury. So something, in an important area that you need as you put torque on it with your swing. So this is a kid who just recovered from Tommy John surgery because he got hurt at the end of last year when he got called up. Yankees fans were super thrilled to see him get a shot. He comes up, rakes in 8 games against Houston Astros pitching and whoever the hell else the Yankees played after that. Went down with the injury. And now he was tearing it up this year in AAA, AA in his rehab assignment. Was kind of, you were kind of hoping that eventually he'd get the call. And it's not going to happen anytime soon because now he's back onto the DL. Who knows how long this is going to last, but it doesn't sound like it's something that's just going to go away. And now you're starting to think to yourself, is this kid just going to be one of those prospects, one of those Yankees players who deal with injuries all the time? He's so muscular. His build, he's such a short, stocky dude. You just hope he can stay healthy and those muscles don't pull. But that's not a good start to his career. Not exactly the most durable start to Jason Dominguez's career. So there's that. There's that news. Now on a positive, Garrett Cole is progressing very well through 4 2/3. I think he struck out 10 the other day in his 3rd rehab. Fastball topped out at 98. Still not throwing super hard. I think it averaged around 94. So hopefully that gets better and better. But positive news on Garrett Cole says that he's that he's maybe going to be making an appearance in this Baltimore series coming up. The Yankees have Baltimore at home for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, and I think they have a TBD next to the starting pitcher's name on Wednesday. So that could be Garrett Cole right there. So there's your positive. He's going to be, he should rejoin the team because there's no point in wasting his bullets down there. If you're rehabbing, if you're throwing 70-plus pitches, why not just do it up here? We need you. It's go time. Let's stop cutting. Let's stop wasting time. Let's cut the bullshit. Get him up here. So that's a positive. And that's all on the injury front. That's all I got. Before we get into the series, one more positive thing before we start talking about some nonsense. I have a cool story. So I'm working on Friday. I work at a country club. One of my superiors calls me into his office. He's like, hey, I want to show you something. Shows me the list of golfers that are scheduled to come in and golf on Monday, tomorrow, or today if you're listening. And one of the names on that list, he knows I'm a huge Yankees fan. It read Anthony Volpe. And so immediately I go to my phone. I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me check to see where the Yankees are on Monday. Hoping that they're home. And maybe he's going to golf real quick before he leaves for the stadium. I wasn't really thinking. They're off on Monday. So they're off tomorrow. So it sounds like Anthony Volpe is going to be at my job tomorrow. And on Mondays, what I do is I collect scorecards for the golfers that come back in. So there's a good chance I run into Anthony Volpe tomorrow night. So I'm excited for that. Thrilled for that. And I'm, I'm very interested to see who he's with. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's awesome that Anthony Volpe is going to be at the country club that I work at on tomorrow. All right. Let's talk New York Yankees because they did lose this series 2 out of 3 at Fenway Park. Tonight's game was just brutal. Like I stopped watching later in like 7th inning and on. But I had this game on mute for a little bit too because let me tell you something. Like I think I ranted about this last episode because they had a Sunday night episode against the Dodgers. That Sunday Night Baseball crew, the whole just Sunday Night Baseball in general, oh my gosh, it's awful. Oh, it's so terrible. It's gotten so gimmicky. It's just too many things. They got too many things going on where it just takes the total focus off of baseball. I mean, they're interviewing scoreboard operators. I don't care about that. They're interviewing, they're doing the whole mic'd up things in the middle of the game. I would hate, if I'm a player, don't mic me up in the middle of a game. I'm playing the Boston Red Sox and I'm a New York Yankee. Don't mic me up. Vice versa. Oh my, it's just so gimmicky. There's so many things. In the interview, this prospect, Tristan Casas, this guy's yapping. I mean, he's spitting a podcast, just talking a million words per second. And I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying because first of all, I can't even understand what he's saying. He's talking so fast. But second of all, I'm trying to focus on the goddamn game and they're talking to this guy. And meanwhile, they got the game in split screen. Where 3/4 of the screen is the game, but they got the kid on the side talking. It's so bad. It's so gimmicky. Not to mention, I don't like the guys they got in the booth. I just miss I'm sounding like an old man here at this point, but I miss the old Sunday Night Baseball with Joe Morgan and John Miller, where it was just those two guys talking ball, and it was the game. Holy shit, it's awful. Cone's good. The other guys, no. Jesus. Let's talk Yankees. Game 1 of this series was actually a positive. The Yankees won 8-1. This was their only good game of the series. The right-hander Luis Gil went up against Brian Bayo, right-hander. This was the Alex Verdugo revenge game, as the Yankees scored 8 runs on 10 hits, 5 of them extra base hits, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts, a double play hit into. And they were 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Against Bayo, they scored 5 runs and 4 2/3 on him. And then against the Boston Bullpen, they scored 3 runs and 4 1/3. But this, again, was the Alex Verdugo game. He went 3 for 5, a double, a home run, 4 RBIs. He started early, top of the first. His 2-run home run. I think it was on the first pitch he saw. Over the wall. And he's rounding the bases. The Boston crowd's not loving it. They're booing him. He's embracing every second of it. And he's kind of egging them on. He's pumped up. Oh, it felt good. It felt good just to see those loser fans get mad and Verdugo shove it in their face as a New York Yankee now. Ex-Boston Red Sox Verdugo doing damage right away to his former team in their friggin' house. that felt so good. And it was the only highlight of the series. So it's 2-0. Top 4, you get Stanton scoring on the error, 3-0. Top 5, Verdugo comes through with an RBI double. That's when Boozer comes into the game for Boston, but Rizzo picks up an RBI single on him. It's 5-1 Yankees. Top 9 against Anderson. Jose Trevino hit a solo home run. Judge brings a run in on a double. Verdugo brings a run in on a single. It's 8-1 Yankees. So Verdugo, as I said, 3 for 5. Rizzo, 2 for 3. Walk, RBI. Judge, 1 for 4. Double, walk, RBI. Soto, 1 for 4. Double, walk. Trevino, 1 for 4. Home run, RBI. We'll talk about Luis Gil's outing a little later. The bullpen in this game, 4 innings, no runs. Kahnle, Ferguson, Gonzalez, Tonkin. And that was the first game of the set, where the Yankees again won 8-1. Game 2, the Yankees lose 8-4. Carlos Rodon went up against, again, ignore these numbers on the screen here. If you're watching on YouTube, those numbers are incorrect. On the that box on the top right, I just moved off the screen, so we're good now, but I didn't make that graphic. Game 2, they win 8-4. Carlos Rodon, the left-hander, going up against the righty Criswell. The theme of this game was just failing to execute the shutdown inning. Every time the Yankees scored, Boston would answer back. Rodon was very bad. He goes 5 innings, lets up 5 runs on 7 hits, 3 walks, struck out 7, allowed no home runs, but needed 109 pitches, and he took the loss. Just poor location and command all day from him. He was so bad. Getting into 2-strike trouble, no put-away pitch. The bottom of the first inning, right out the gate, you saw he just did not have his command. He's 0-2 on Duran, but he spins a bad slider. That ends up being a leadoff double. Then he leaves a slider up to O'Neill. That's an RBI double. It's 1-0 Boston. He has the 9-pitch walk to Devers. Then he throws an 0-2 meatball fastball to Connor Wong. That's an RBI single, 2-0. Feeds this guy Westbrook a 2-0 fastball. Leaves it up. It's an RBI double, 3-0. Bottom of the second inning. This was after the Yankees scored 2 runs. Rodon gives it right back. An 0-2 hanging curveball to Rafaela. Boston prospect. Leadoff base hit. Then he leaves an 8th pitch hanging slider to O'Neill. That's a base hit. Then another 8-pitch at bat. This one's a fastball up. He leaves it to Devers. It's a 2-run double. It's 5-2 Boston. He was awful. Now, he found it a little bit after that. Those first 2 innings were his worst innings, but it was too late by then. You can't put your team in a hole like that. And Carlos Rodon was doing so well. He was stringing together so many good starts in a row, but you got to remember, it wasn't against the best competition. So, I just worry. Can I trust this guy in a playoff game? Can I trust him in big games? I need to see a little more, because he's prone to these blow-ups here and there, because sometimes his location's off, and he's not a guy who strikes out a lot of batters anymore. So I just worry a little bit there. The bullpen wasn't good after him. 3 runs in 3 innings. Marinaccio and Gonzalez, they were both bad. All night, Yankee pitchers just allowing runs. After the Yankees have a big inning, didn't matter. Marinaccio, 2 innings, 4 base runners, allows a run. Gonzalez, 1 inning, 3 base runners, 2 runs score on him. And the Yankee bats weren't that good. 4 runs on 6 hits, a home run, 6 walks, 10 strikeouts, no double plays. But they were only 2 for 8 in scoring position. Against Criswell, they got 2 runs in 4 innings. And then against the Boston bullpen, 2 runs in 5 innings. Top 2, they were down 3 runs. You get the DJ LeMahieu 2-out blue pit to right field. 2 runs come across. It's 3-2 Boston. They don't score again until the 7th. They were down 3 runs, top 7. Juan Soto, solo home run. initially ruled a double, reviewed, changed to a home runs, 5-3 Boston. Top 8, the Yanks are down 4 runs. DJ gets an RBI at 6-3 Boston, but they couldn't do anything with it from there. Just a ton of missed opportunities. You know, you have the bases loaded for Stanton in the 5th inning. He strikes out on 3 breaking balls away from the zone. That's what he does. Stanton ended up going 2 for 4. Soto goes 1 for 3. Homer, 2 walks, RBI. DJ, 1 for 4, 3 RBIs. And that was your second game of the series. Game 3, tonight, the Yankees lost, was it 9-3? It was the right-hander Marcus Stroman against Cutter Crawford, the right-hander for Boston. Just garbage baseball in this game. Jesus, was it garbage. Top of the first, you have the Judge solo home run. Bottom second, Rafaela, 2-run base hit, 2-1 Boston. Bottom 3, it's 4-1 Boston. Bottom 5, Devers sac fly, 5-1. Top 6, Trevino goes yard. You know, we'll talk about him. Crawford throws a wild pitch, run scores. It's 5-3. Bottom 7, though, Weaver's in. Couldn't clean up Ferguson's mess because as soon as you throw Ferguson out there, you're waving the white flag. Devers rips an RBI single. Judge kind of plays it very lazily in center field. Allows an extra base from Duran. Wong picks up the 2-run triple. It's 8-3 Boston. They eventually win 9-3. Stroman was bad. 5 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 walks. Nibble, 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 nibble. That's all he was doing. Just fucking nibbling. We'll talk maybe more on him. The bullpen was very bad once again because that's what they are. They're bad. The defense was bad. I mean, Jose Trevino, just the guy has a noodle. The guy has no arm. He has no arm. He has no arm. The Red Sox stole 9 bases tonight. That's disgusting. That's so disrespectful. It's so embarrassing. That's not a major league catcher. Hell no. And the bats were awful. There was the one inning, what was it, the 7th inning? Just a horrendous display of vomit. The Yankees load the bases with no outs. Gleyber Torres has what I call a cut-worthy at-bat, where I feel like if George was around, Gleyber Torres is not a Yankee tomorrow. Bases loaded, no outs. He's got a 3-0 count. Takes 2 meatballs right down the pipe. Then he strikes out on an awful third pitch that doesn't even reach the plate. Because that's what he does. Jose Trevino comes up to the plate, did 0, and then DJ LeMahieu was DJ LeMahieu. In this inning, the only positive was that the Yankee infield issue might be solving itself, where Rizzo went down with an injury. Obviously, you're hoping he's okay, yada, yada. But, yeah, take your time with that. And that was your game. 9-3. The Yankees lose. Weren't close. Going back to game 1, let's spit a positive here. Luis Gil. That's the wrong graphic. Luis Gil. Here he is. The Yankees starting pitching was so bad in this series where Luis Gil didn't pitch great, but he was better than the other 2. 5 innings in game 1, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 4 hits, 6 no home runs allowed, 104 pitches, and he got the win. So he wasn't great, but he was enough. You know, he was getting into some long counts again, walking batters. You know, if this is not a great outing for Luis Gil at this point, that means he's done a pretty damn good job, right? His only blemish came in the 4th inning where he allowed the run, but other than that, he, struggled but got out of it. Threw 54 four-seamers. His command on the four-seam fastball was a little iffy. But he did get a big 3rd inning strikeout to get himself out of a jam using the four-seamer. He threw 43 changeups, had a few nice ones in there to get some strikeouts on them. They went 7 sliders, so he didn't use that pitch much. Not his best pitch. But yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised they let him throw 104 pitches, especially given it was in a small window of 5 innings. But they let him go, and he ended up producing an adequate line. And now he has 7 cap tips. That's his 7th time being saluted here on the podcast this season. So good for Luis Gil. As we go to the lineup, I guess I'll give it to Juan Soto. I mean, the offense wasn't great this series. Juan Soto was only 2 for 10. Did have a 1029 OPS because he walked 4 times and he had 2 extra base hits. So he continues to do his thing. You know, that's good. On the year, Juan Soto continues to just put up MVP numbers. Read his numbers right here on the screen. This season, Juan Soto in 71 games, batting .315, a .433 on base, a .592 slugging, a .1025 OPS. So 12 doubles, 3 triples, 18 home runs, 55 RBIs, 55 walks, only 51 strikeouts. And this is his 9th cap tip. So good for Juan Soto. Go to the bullpen. I think the best reliever in this series, Tommy Kahnle. He appeared in 2 games, games 1 and game 3. In total, finishes with an inning and 2/3 under his belt. No runs, 3 strikeouts, couple walks, no hits, 34 pitches in these 2 games, 2 no decisions. Changeup looked good. The fastball was fine. He hasn't been good since returning, but, you know, in this series, I guess he was fine. That's the 2nd time Tommy Kahnle's getting a salute since his return. Yeah, it wasn't a fun series, man. So we'll talk a little more about it when we return from break. Stay with us here on BD4. We'll be right back in a few seconds.
Hey there, thanks for listening in so far. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much.
All right. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, like this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Again, as I record, it's late. June 17th already. Jesus Christ. Where the fuck is time? It's June 17th. All right. We are smack in the middle of the baseball season now. Smack in the middle. Right? I mean, let's see. June 17th, Yankees are 50-24. 50 plus 24, 74. So, yeah, we're getting right up to the halfway mark. So, at this point in the year, it's kind of like the regular season becomes, I don't want to say the regular season becomes becomes meaningless, but the regular season becomes, at this point in the season, less about is this team good and more about strictly standings and what seed you're going to end up with, right? It just becomes win games to get this high in the standings. But regarding what this team is, like what's their identity, what are they good and bad at, like that we know at this point, right? The regular season is meaningless regarding that. At this point in the year, we know that the Yankees are going to be a good team. We know they're going to win 100 games, give or take, be right there for the division. We know that. They're going back to the playoffs. I think we can all agree on that. Knock on wood. So with that said, the next thing we're looking at is, all right, well, the goal here is to win a championship. And is this Yankees team World Series ready? So yes, they're a very good team. So when people, say, don't complain, they're in first place. Well, yeah, but like, that's great. We're also trying to win a World Series. So I'm looking at it through the lens of like, is this team a World Series team now? And I don't think so. I think they have a lot to be done. I think they need upgrades, right? I think 2 of first base, second base, third base cannot be the everyday starters anymore by the deadline. I think I worry about the rotation health. Maybe you get an extra starter, and I think you need at least 2 relief pitchers in there. I think this team needs upgrades to be a World Series team. They can. They can absolutely be a team that becomes a favorite to win a World Series championship this year. They can. With the right upgrades, they can definitely be one of those teams. Do I trust Brian Cashman to make those moves? I'm not going to lie to you. No, I don't really trust him. He'll make the obvious moves, right? He'll sign Garrett Cole. He'll trade for Juan Soto. He'll make those moves. But he's going to make the tough decisions. Is Brian Cashman going to do the extra things? Is he going to cut ties with veterans who've been here for a long time? Or is he going to be afraid of hurting feelings and worrying about nostalgia? And is he going to be too stubborn and let these guys rot? Anthony Rizzo, good clubhouse guy, veteran leader. Let's keep you around. Gleyber Torres, you've been here from the very beginning, right? We got you from Chicago, but we groomed you from when you were a prospect. Let's keep it. DJ LeMahieu, so many good memories with you. He's earned it, right? We've heard Boone say, this guy's done this before. He'll figure it out. Like, I don't know that I trust the Yankees to move on from some of these veterans and make the changes that are necessary to be made because of those types of things. We've seen them stick with vets for too long before. So, yes, I believe that they can be more than just this regular season team. I think it's right there in front of them. It's very possible with the right upgrades, but I don't know that I trust Brian Cashman and the Yankees to make those upgrades. That's what concerns me. Will they actually do every single thing they need to do to make sure they win the World Series this year? This is their best shot in years. If it's not this year, I don't know if they ever will win another one. But I'm worried. I'm worried that they're not going to do the right things. I'm worried they're not going to do it to the extent they should be doing it at. Make the right moves. Make the tough decisions. Can they do that? Because you look at this team and they've got holes, as I said. Their bullpen needs help. It's not a great bullpen. I'm sorry. They've got a couple of names who've got some good numbers, which kind of skew the bullpen numbers at large. But there's nothing there. There aren't any names in that bullpen. You take Clay Holmes away. How many names do the Yankees have? They used to have names in that pen. I understand you're trying to do the whole reclamation project thing, which they're good at, but you can only push that button so much. There's no swing and miss in that bullpen. Nobody's striking guys out left and right, even their closer. A 1.30 whip because he gets ground balls that find holes. You need swing and miss guys in there. You don't have a lefty in there that's dominant. Your lefty is Caleb Ferguson and Victor Gonzalez. Those are your 2 lefties. That's not it. Caleb Ferguson's your white flag. Victor Gonzalez is your medium low leverage guy. You can make trades. There are big names out there. Mason Miller is an option that could be traded. But you look across the, you look at the harbor, you got Baltimore who can probably offer more, a much better package for Mason Miller because they've got a much better farm. Their farm is not only deeper, but it comes up to the major leagues and they produce right away. The Yankee prospects don't hit. Their guys hit right away, so that's a farm that's more attractive. They can make an offer for Miller. If they make an offer, and even if the Yankees offer a Dominguez or a Jones for Mason Miller, Baltimore could probably offer something similar and still get that deal because they know, other organizations know, Baltimore products are producing right away outside of Jackson Holiday. So I don't know if the Yankees are just going to make that big move in the bullpen. I think they're going to continue to try and trust this whole, Brian Cashman finds a random, Matt Blake turns him into a gem. The whole reclamation project thing. Which, okay, I can live with that. But they need to make it happen. They need to make some more moves. But there are other problems with this team. Is catcher now a thing we have to look at? Because that was fucking brutal tonight. And it's been a problem for a bit. Everybody knows the Yankee catchers don't have an arm. They're hitting fine because of Jose Trevino. Austin Wells sucks. That guy can't hit a major league breaking ball. He's got a giant hole in his swing. I don't think he's ever going to be good. I'm over that guy. Right? But the hitting's been productive. And the defense, yes, they are great framers and they are good pitch call. They call the games well. They're a good pitch calling tandem. But the defense is an abomination regarding pop time and arm strength. Like, they are being ran all over. And that's a concern. You need arms. You need a guy with a cannon. So do you see Ben Rice? Do you see Augustin Ramirez, who's this new hot shot you're hearing about now? I don't know, but it's a concern of mine that these Yankees catchers are getting ran on like crazy. In a playoff series, teams are going to do everything they can to score a run. They're going to run on you. So that concerns me. Going forward, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Marcus Stroman's not exactly quick to the plate. I'm not calling him Dylan Betances to the plate, but he's not quick. That was an ugly game tonight. And of course, we've talked about this since the Dodgers series. This lineup is very top heavy. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge are the only two guys right now with an OPS over 800. You got Volpe currently in a slump. Where it's like he's a very streaky hitter. The power hasn't been there this year. But for a while, he was hitting the ball consistently with base hits to right field. But now that he's not doing that, the power is not there. He's not really walking much. It's like, well, you need to do something that's like sustainable the entire way. Because most hitters are great at one thing. Volpe's been so streaky because he's not had that one thing that's been there all year. Verdugo's okay. Plays good defense. He's been a fine bat. I don't think he's as great as Yankees fans make him out to be. I think, we love him because he's kind of changed the culture, the whole dog thing. He's got a 730 OPS, whatever it is. Like, Stanton he's having a bounce back year. He's very streaky. We see what happens when he's against good pitching. When he gets those sliders, sweepers outside the zone, where he's swinging out of his shoes, top-handed swings. And then you go to your infield. Haven't even talked about the infield yet. Because the infield, if Volpe's hitting, okay. But when Volpe's not hitting, it really starts to show how bad that infield is. Anthony Rizzo, Jesus Christ, is that guy just fucking washed up? He's probably got CTE. That's probably why it's affected the defense. It's probably why he's got no more power. DJ LeMahieu is just done. I haven't seen this guy rip a ball in years. When was the last time he picked up an extra base hit? Oh my God, that guy's done. Has his breakout 2019, has a couple months there in the COVID season where he hit. Who cares? That's way in the past. The guy's old, he's washed, he's hurt, he's done. Gleyber Torres, the guy's a total loser. He's probably the worst baseball player on this team. Just in terms of the different facets of the game, he's so bad in every one of them. He can't play good second base defense. He's an awful base runner. Gets picked off all the time. Gets thrown out trying to take an extra base that he has no business taking. lazy mistakes on pop-ups in the field. He's a terrible hitter. Terrible hitter. Oh, he hit 38 home runs in a year where they juiced up the balls. Same year, Brett Gardner hit 30 home runs. The guy's not good. He's got to go. He's not good. So between Rizzo, LeMahieu, and Gleyber Torres, 2 new names better be out there every day in the second half of the season. Like Oswaldo Cabrera should be getting reps, and then you maybe make a trade. You maybe call somebody up. A Ben Rice. The other guy. Rumsfeld. Like, those 3 guys can't be ran out there anymore. Not like that. There needs to be a change. And again, I don't know if I trust the Yankees because of this love affair they've got with some of their veterans. They just stick with them for way too long. So hopefully this Rizzo injury allows the Yankees to get a different look here. And they're like, oh, life might be better without this bum in there. So, yeah, it was a rough series. It was a rough series for a lot of this team. Not just the offense, the pitching, the starting pitching's kind of coming back down to earth a little bit the last couple series, which is bound to happen. You're going to have peaks and valleys in your rotation. But I do worry about, I started thinking about the playoff rotation. What do I want? Do we have too many soft-throwing left-handers in there between Cortez and Stroman? Cortez, if his location's off, he's getting hammered. And then Stroman, you got a guy like him who you see what he can look like when he's off tonight. He's just nibbling way too much, and he's just way off the plate. He's not even close to the plate, and he's not even trying to come close to the plate. And when he's like that, it is so ugly to watch. He's almost afraid to attack the inner half of the plate, to be aggressive, because he's a soft thrower with underwhelming stuff. He's afraid to go inside. Every hit was the other way or up the middle tonight off of him. So he looks shaky. Like, I need to see more. Rodon, same thing. He's prone to these blow-ups. If his location's not there, it's bad. So Garrett Cole might be coming back at the perfect time. I trust Cole. I trust Luis Hill. Though the walks scare me. We're talking postseason success. Keep that in mind. That's any criticism from here on out that I make is not about the regular season, because I know they're going to be a great regular season team. It's about the playoffs for me. And I don't know, this rotation, I need to see a little more from. I'll wait. But you're starting to see some cracks. And they're showing a little bit. Clark Schmidt's now hurt. But at the end of the day, I would like the Yankees to show me something more. I need them to beat an elite team to remind me, okay, they can. They can do that. Maybe I am overreacting. And what better opportunity than this week we got coming up? And it hasn't been good. What's really holding me back is just they haven't been beating those top-notch teams. Like, they failed against Baltimore the first time they played them. They dropped 3 out of 4 at Camden Yards. Last weekend, they host the Dodgers at Yankee Stadium. They lost 2 out of 3. So now, day off tomorrow. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you got Baltimore coming to town in a 3-game set, and they're only 1.5 back of you. So there's your chance to really show Yankees fans, okay, we can beat a top team. Because the Yankees go out there this week and they lose 2 more at least. They don't win this series. Oh, it is so. It is. If you thought I was too harsh on them before, I'm not going to be. It's. I mean, they haven't done shit. I'll give you the first Baltimore series. I'll give you the Dodgers series because they were without Soto. But, like, at some point, we got to see something against one of these top teams. And now you have a third shot to really show people. And no, I don't think the Kansas City Royals are a threat. That's not a, it's a small market team. I don't take them serious, never will. So we'll see. That's it. Let's head to our final break, get back, wrap it up with our trivia. That'll be that. Stay with us. Be right back.
You can follow us on social media as well. On Instagram, we're at BD4Pod and at Rob J. Carbone. On X, we're at BD4Pod and at RJCBD4. And on Facebook, we're BD4. If you're interested in our website, just go to www.bd4blog.com. You can subscribe to our blog on there right on the front page. Just like on the podcast, we cover Yankees, Knicks, and MMA. Also on our website are the links to the different platforms for the podcast. Thanks so much.
Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born.
Thanks for listening to BD4, where there is no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA, Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion.
All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to episode 692 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Yanks dropped 2 out of 3 in Boston in front of all their rednecks. Unfortunate series loss. That team sucks so much. I hate losing to bad teams. But big opportunity ahead. Can't say I'm optimistic at all. I think the Yankees might get washed, but we'll see. Let's wrap this up with our trivia. All right, so for this episode, open-ended question for you here. Do you, because I'm genuinely curious. I've heard a lot of things about this Yankees-Boston rivalry, so I'm curious to the listeners here. Do you enjoy seeing the Boston Red Sox suffer in mediocrity? Or do you prefer both teams at their best? I'm very curious because I personally love seeing the Boston Red Sox suffer. I understand when both teams are really good. It's funner for the rivalry. It's electric. There's more juice to it. But I hate that city. I hate all of them so much that it brings me so much joy. It tickles my heart to see them suffer when they lose games so much like they're doing right now. So me personally, I have no problem with the rivalry being quote unquote dead when Boston's as bad as they are. But I'm curious to see what you think. Do you enjoy seeing the Boston Red Sox suffer in mediocrity, or do you prefer both teams being at their best? So let me know the answer wherever you can reach me, folks. That's it. I appreciate you all. That's it for episode 692. We'll wrap it up right here at 50 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in 693. But as for 692, episode 692 of BD4, that's all we got. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you soon. Later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, Download these episodes and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you. And we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees and go Knicks.